Hi everyone, my name's Alicia, and I just feel the need to share some of my story right now about what I've been going through and to help myself find clarity too, because I just want to start by saying that if I didn't have faith in the Lord, I would not be standing here today. And my faith truly and trusting finally in my own feelings and my own intuition to get out of certain situations that I had been in over and over with different people and different circumstances and different dark realms that I got involved in order to have my own purging dark night of the soul experience to see the truth of how evil really does exist. And I used to kind of like be blind to evil, which I wasn't blind to evil. I kind of was, because I was raised so closed off from evil. I thought I had the power to remove it or to change it. And the more that I learned, because I was raised in a very religious, not really religious, but it was spiritually, biblically based, the way I was raised. My mom reads her Bible every single morning and has since I was 12 years old. And we would do 30-minute prayers on the way to school every morning. I mean, I don't want to say it was brainwashing, but it helped me become a very spiritually strong person to be able to be standing here today, because my mom would always freak out when I was in middle school, and she would just be like, never get into astrology, I'm afraid that there's witches here and stuff. And I think it was more of just the marriage that she was in at the time, was with someone who didn't really have that much faith because of what they had been through, understandably. But my mom ended up, having to remove herself from that situation. And when that happened, I was 19 years old, and I kind of just, 19 is when we have our Uranus square. 19 to 21-ish, and I have a whole stellium conjunct Uranus, and Uranus is exactly on my midheaven at 22 of Capricorn, where the Saturn, Pluto, Jupiter conjunction was, and my moon's at 22 of Pisces on the 12th house cusp. So to feel the weight of what that was has just been so freaking intense. I can't even say everything I've been through, but it's not like I really believe in astrology. I just had, Pluto transits force us to go through a dark night of the soul, and Pluto rules the occult realm and all of that. I haven't really decided if I think Pluto's very borderline of pure and evil to me. Very, very thin line between pure and evil sometimes, and that is Pluto to me. And it's our job to take our Pluto lessons and purify our soul so that we are able to stand in a brighter light, even brighter than before. Now, since 2018, I have had Pluto hit my Mars Neptune on the same day. Then it hit my midheaven. Then it hit my Uranus, and it's also hit my Sun and Venus all since 2018. It's sextiled my moon, and I'm having my Pluto sextile right now. Not only that, I have a fucking Saturn square Pluto by 1 degree, and they're in the late degrees, 27 and 28 degrees, square each other. So to have all of those planets being ruled by Saturn that's square to Pluto, and then have those Pluto transits, I mean, it is a freaking miracle that I'm here. Not only that, I have my North Node conjunct Pluto, and my North Node is ruled by Jupiter, which is in Scorpio on my 7th house, and those are all in the 7th house. So I have no planets except for Chiron in the bottom half of my chart. I feel like I didn't even know who I was. I didn't know who I was my entire life, because when you have all your planets on the top of your chart, and they're all ruled by Capricorn, and Saturn is the ruling planet of Capricorn, and it hasn't even returned to its position that it's at until this February. I was at the mercy of the conditioning that I allowed myself to go through. and thinking that I could change bad boys into believers of God and pray for them to change it. It's not something that I was capable of anymore. Once Pluto started really hitting my stuff and I started getting into drugs and drinking and God, just like, really roughing it the whole entire time, because Pluto takes everything away in order for us to go within. And we don't have an option except to go within when we have Pluto transits. And if we don't, we literally are on the verge of death. So that's why I learned astrology, because I have people in my life that, aren't really happy with that. But, my mom is accepting at this point. And I love her so much. I love both of my parents. They really are freaking strong people and really hard workers. And I feel like what I've put them through with what I've been through has been really difficult on my mom. And I feel so bad about it, because she really did so much for us as kids, as far as like making sure that we had everything we needed. Not only that, the spiritual protection that she provides for us is like no other. And I just, I'm really starting to appreciate that more and more the older that I get, because I see that not everyone was given that. And it was something that I rebelled from for a while. But I am like coming back to the Lord 100%, because I have no other option. First of all, at this point, like, I don't trust people because of what I've been through. It got to the point where I was like not able to tell who the good guys were and the bad guys were when I moved out to California, because of, I felt like I was going through tests by these people. And I'm like, okay, I know that you guys are all testing me, because that's what men do. They test us. But I couldn't tell who was good and bad, because they weren't even being real. They weren't telling me who they really were or what they were really up to. And it made me go insane. I was so frustrated, and I was waiting and waiting and waiting to find out the truth. And I still don't know the entire truth. And that's why I'm having to share my story right now, because like, I don't know exactly what to say about everything that I went through. I just know it was hell, and I'm really working hard to rise out of it. I'm not like, I'm being celibate right now. I can't allow people to touch me. It irks me, because of like the power that I allowed males to have that did not deserve my love and kindness and my compassion and forgiveness over and over and over. And they used it and destroyed me. And, I'm coming back stronger. It's just a slow process. And it's just still frustrating for me sometimes. And I'm just having to give it to the Lord, because like, I still don't know who's good, who's bad. Why did I go through this? Like, I kind of am trying to understand why now, but if I don't share my story, then I feel like, what's the point? I don't feel like, as the way my chart is set up, I'm not here for just myself. And I'm working really hard to try and figure out, okay, how am I, like, I'm very in touch with the 12th house Pisces moon on the 12th house cusp with the spiritual realm in an emotional way. And I'm so sensitive that I really have to be so careful about who I allow into my life, because that sensitivity and being raised in public school and stuff, I developed an eating disorder. I had really low self-confidence because I felt so different than everybody, and so much less confident than everybody. Then I ended up getting prescribed Adderall in college, which helped for a little while, but I kind of got addicted to it. And then that's what made me end up around worse drugs and worse situations and darker people that didn't want to change, and I said ultimatums, because I had to leave. I was like, I'm going to leave if you don't stop doing what I feel like I know you're doing, and you won't admit to it, and you're not telling me the truth. I have to go. Like, I'm not going to sit here and wait for you to kill me, because like, I'm not ready for what's to come after this. I didn't go through all this for nothing. So, sorry, I keep taking really deep breaths because I feel so overwhelmed still at times, and it's hard to talk about this all, because I talk about it to myself in my head, and I listen to videos on YouTube to help get clarity, and it's still, my discernment, I'm praying for discernment every single day for everyone to have discernment, but especially myself, because